Hey everyone, couple of quick topics today. We're going to be focusing on the autofocus and the tracking differences between our Nikon Z series cameras and our new Sony Alpha 7 R4. Just a couple of notes before we begin. We are now starting to film with the Sony Alpha 7 R4. We're still getting our color right, our lighting right, and everything like that with it. And we're doing our audio today with, I got to refer to my notes here. I love it, but I can't remember the name. It's the Sony ECM B1M microphone, and I'm going to put a picture of that up on the screen. It's this super compact Sony digital microphone that it's digital with their latest cameras, their latest couple of cameras, and it's sleek and compact. It's not all top heavy and wobbly. It brings a digital signal to the camera so that the camera can do the process with the digital signal. And it has a few settings on the back. In a few moments, I'm going to show you earlier today when we were outside with it, and I'm going to show you exactly how we had it set. And we were in this kind of wooded environment. Leigh was walking with the camera. It was by no means a best case situation, but we wanted to see. We like to push things a little bit, and I did take a peek at it, and I think it did really well. Okay, so quick unscientific microphone test. A couple things that I like about this microphone is it's small, lightweight, it's not top heavy, it doesn't stick out past the back of the camera. Everybody likes that digital interface, I do too, and it's plenty configurable. And like I said, we'll put our settings on the back of the screen. We're in like super, what's it called, Leigh?
Super directional.
We're in super directional mode. I don't know if you even heard her because so it's acting most like a shotgun microphone right now, and then there's a couple other directional options which we haven't used with this one yet. But my goal today is just to see as I turn around and talk and how well it picks up everything, what it picks up in terms of ambient noise. I'm even gonna go around behind Leigh in a second here, and I'm just gonna keep talking, and we're just gonna see how the microphone does as Leigh keeps walking forward and I walk around the back. She looks good carrying that handheld video. Sony A7R4, first time we've done that. And now I'm back facing the camera again, and you'll see what it did, and we'll be learning about it at the same time. But based on the limited time that I had testing this microphone a few months ago, I was really impressed with it, and we will see what happens. And we're back. Nothing spectacular, just a little impromptu walking video in the forest. I was kind of walking ahead of Leigh there. She was following me with the Sony Alpha 7 R4, and I think it did a good job. I love this microphone, and we're just now seeing the potential of it in different environments. I'd love it if it worked just as an all-the-time solution instead of doing the lavaliers sometimes, the shotgun mic other times. More to come on that. Our primary focus today is the autofocus tracking in the Sony Alpha 7 R4 and the Nikon Z series cameras. Technically, they have the same features, but what appealed to me when I first tried this Sony, and what appeals to me now that we own this Sony, is a not so subtle difference in how you set up the autofocus tracking between the two cameras. Some of you may already know this, and some of you have mentioned it in some of the comments and such, but let me go through it step by step here. Let me talk about the Sony first, and I'll put some of the visuals up on the screen. So Sony has a mode, and I'm showing you the settings for that, where you can move your focus area around with your joystick controller. And then when you have press, it locks onto that spot. And I'm going to choose my words carefully here. It locks onto that spot and tracks it as you continue to be half pressed. It's like next level focus and recompose. Because it's not just holding focus, it's not locking focus. It's locking focus on the object that you locked on. Now I know Nikon does that and other brands do that too. However, when you set it up the way that I have here, it not only locks focus and moves around and follows that item, but when it sees a face or eye in that area, it locks in on the face or the eye depending on what it can detect based on the scene. So basically you have your half press to lock focus, but it doesn't fix focus, it locks on the object. If it's an abstract object, it just locks on it. If it's a face, it starts picking up the face and then the eyes, if it picks up the eyes. It's pretty cool. You just point it at what you know you want to focus on, you half press, it tracks it around, you're good to go, no matter what it is. Now, some of you are familiar with the Nikon Z series, some of you aren't, so let me explain. The Nikon Z series certainly does have face and eye detection. You go to auto area, continuous focus, and it will automatically pick up on face and eyes. Now you don't have a selector unless you click the OK button. Then you have a selector, as I'm putting up on the screen now, and then you can lock that in on an object. But it doesn't keep looking for the face and the eyes. Once you use that OK button, move the joystick around and then pick the object, then you can lock in on it. The frustration for me is by the time I've done those extra steps, the thing that I'm tracking, I'm already thinking about something else. It's out of the scene, the moment's over. Whereas the Sony, half press, track, figures out what it is, go, take the picture. Nikon, I either want the faces and it'll just start picking the faces from the wider area. And then if I want to track something, I have to click a button, I have to move the joystick, and then I have to click the OK button again. Like I said, it might be gone at that point in time. So I'm trying not to say that one's better or one's not. I'm not saying that Nikon's bad. I guess what I'm saying is, well, the way Sony does it really appeals to me and seems to work best for me. I'm interested in your opinion if you're a Sony user or if you're a Nikon user, if you're like us and you're using both. Now we do have two different systems at play now. A more extensive Nikon system, still pretty small with respect to the Z series, and then Sony body and just a couple lenses, but we expect to grow our Sony system a little more. As kind of a fun thing to intermix both systems, one thing that we recently purchased is the TechArt adapter that lets you use a Sony lens on a Nikon body with autofocus, which is kind of interesting. We're actually going to be reviewing that. Both of us will be involved in that later in the week. We'll be talking about the pros and cons of working with that TechArt adapter. If it's something you have or it's something you're interested in, let us, of course, know down in the comments below. Or if there's anything in particular you'd like us to try the review, and ask those questions real quick because we got to work on this thing in a hurry to have it done in just a few days here. But we do have a little bit of a window of opportunity for your questions on that TechArt adapter. We certainly have covered a lot of ground using it on our own. And that leads me to a couple things. One, Leigh has made what I consider to be the best videos that she's ever made, and those are the training videos, Snapshot University, that she launched on Friday. There's 2.5 hours of training content now, and she's growing it as we speak. So definitely check that out. I'll put a link down below. And then we also have Member Monday today, where we're going to talk about our early pros and cons, a little preview of that TechArt adapter review. And we're also going to talk about like the half dozen other adapters that we have and our experiences with those as well. So definitely members, check out the Member Monday video. And if you haven't seen the Snapshot University video from last week, check that out. If you're not a member, check out that join button down below because there's more perks than ever. Any other questions or comments, you know the deal, leave them down below, and we'll talk to you a little bit later in the week.